Thank you everybody for joining me for the first episode ever for the Bulletin. It was a long time coming. I tried my best to get this going. Um, I want to give you a brief rundown of what we're about here. My goal is to do this around like a 15-20 minute episode. We're going to talk about the Bulls, the NBA. We're going to have a few different fun segments. It's not going to be all basketball content. That way, you guys aren't just, shoving basketball knowledge down your throat the whole time. If it's successful, we're gonna try our best to go live. I think it'll be pretty fun one day. So the best thing you guys can do right now, if you're a supporter of the page, if you enjoyed this video just in general, just share this video, rate, comment, subscribe, and it'll help us out. It'll help us out a lot, and it'll bring us to our goal eventually. So to start off with, I want to talk about the Cubs. Congratulate those Cubbies. I was a longtime Cubs fan. Growing up, that was the actual team I would watch because we didn't have cable. We'd be stuck watching WGN. So from the Derek Lee days to the Sammy Sosa days, I was stuck watching the Cubs. I was forced to love them, but now I do love them thanks to Chris Bryant. So shout out to the Cubs. I want to give you a brief rundown of my background, where I came from, like how I'm here, why you guys are watching me to begin with. When I was in college, I started off a small blog that no one really read besides myself. It was called Talk Bulls Now. It was my first blog. It was based off Google. It was just for fun because I think I used to post a lot of statuses on Facebook, updating my friends about the Bulls, but no one really cared. Like at one point, I'm pretty sure people were getting annoyed. I was constantly on their newsfeed, so I decided to switch things up, start a blog. That blog led to another blog, which was more legit. It was called Chicago Now. It was a stepping stone to my progression, and then eventually, after Derrick Rose got injured, his first injury, his ACL, I was so heartbroken. So I just started constantly just bombarding my Facebook with information, and in doing so, somebody gave me the idea hey, why don't you just make a Facebook page and just throw all your information at that. I had a feeling he just told me that because he was annoyed of my statuses. So eventually I started a Facebook page, a few of them. The first one was in Die Hard, but I had a few. I'm pretty sure one of them I had, it was John Lucas Facebook page. It was John Lucas we trust. That shows you how desperate we were. So I eventually started the Die Hard Chicago Bulls fan. It grew, thankfully. I'm very thankful for that. It grew and it grew and it grew, and eventually I had writing opportunities for big websites like Sports Mockery and SB Nation. In my brief stint with both of them, I stayed with them for a little bit, but eventually I said, you know what, I can do what they're doing, but I have the audience for it. So I was thinking, I want to start my own blog, and as a lot of you know already, the Bulls Times. So I started the Bulls Times, and that took off running. At one point, we had the server shut down, so that was pretty fun. When Derrick Rose got traded. So while a lot of people in Chicago were mourning the loss of Rose, I was kind of happy that the server shut down for my blog. So win-win. Eventually, we moved on to the Garpax petition. I haven't checked how many I had recently, but I think last I checked it was over 15 or 20,000. That got a lot of coverage. I mean, the Sun Times wrote about it, Bleacher Report wrote about it, Fansided wrote about it. We had a very successful petition. Now, the delusional part of me wants to take credit for this crazy summer that we had. I know it had nothing to do with it, but I mean, that's just me just being a little happy and delusional. I kept conversations with Casey Johnson, and I hope to move forward with him in other conversations. So all of this page was a big stepping stone. I got invited to the Bulls D League arena to help advertise their team. That was a lot of fun. Got to be on the court, got to meet with their president, and now my next step in my progression, and I really hope that this is going to be a great step for me, with your help to help share this video. My next step is the YouTube part of everything. So I wanted to take a time out and tell you guys what I'm about, and now is on to the actual fun part, the part where I feel more natural about not trying to shove information down you guys' throats. The part that I love is the Bulls. So let's talk about the Bulls. So there are four main starters that got traded or they left last year. and I'm gonna add Noah in this category of starters because he was a starter for most of his career with the Bulls. There's Rose, Noah, Dunleavy, and Gasol. Those are the four I want to talk about right now. When Rose got traded, I was taking a nap. I had no clue that D Rose would get traded this soon. Like I knew his time was up when at the end of last season it was either between him and Butler, and given that they're almost the same age, I think they're 1 year apart. They are a good like 5 years apart in basketball terms. Like Rose's knees in general make him a good 5 years older. Butler's late progression, having him come off the bench, being almost a nobody his first 2 years, that really helped him stay a lot younger than he actually is. He doesn't have as much mileage as Rose does. So given both of those factors, I knew that the Bulls would be picking Jimmy Butler over Derrick Rose. But it was just a matter of time when it was going to happen. It's one of those things where like you don't believe it's going to happen until it happens. So when Derrick Rose initially got traded, I was taking a nap. I got a text on my phone, and I was just shocked. I was trying to read. I'm like, and the crazy part of that is I'm reading who we got back in return. I'm reading that we got Jerry and Grant. I'm like, who the hell is that? Like, I don't understand who Jerry and Grant is. Like, I watched a few highlights, but I was getting him and his brother confused, or was it his cousin? I'm not sure, who plays for Philly. Like I was just like, man. And then Lopez and Jose Calderon. At this point, I'm looking at our roster. I'm like, is Jose Calderon really our starting point guard? Like I could not comprehend it. I was devastated. I mean, a lot of you guys saw on my Facebook page on Die Hard how when I initially found out about Rose, it was like as if somebody died. Like I was constantly posting about Derrick Rose and to the point where a lot of you were getting it. Like, all right, dude, just get over it. It's been like 3 days. Just get over it. And I was like, no, I can't get over it, man. Derrick Rose got traded. I mean, I don't know. I knew it was gonna come, but I didn't know it was gonna come that soon. And then you had, and when he got traded, and we got Lopez in return, I knew right then that hey, Joakim Noah was gone too. I mean, he was spotted at the club with Derrick Rose in New York. Like, you already knew his story was done with in Chicago, but I was still very, very, very sad when I found out he got when he signed with another team. Although I think it is best for him, though. I felt like Chicago fans were taking advantage of what he brought to the table. That's off the court. On the court, I get it. He couldn't make a layup for his if his life depended on it. His knees were giving up on him. But I think what he brought to the table in the locker room, I think that in general was a huge factor that was being overlooked. And I think at some point, just like D-Wade, he needed to go back home. He needed a fresh start. He needed, some sort of new chapter in his book. Because we all know, it's well documented that not only the Bulls organization loved him, but the owner of the team loved him. Like Jerry Reinsdorf, he loved Joakim Noah. Like, that was his dude. The fact that he was able to make a comment saying that Joakim Noah is no longer a starting four in the league, you knew right then where like it was like love lost between the two parties. And then eventually when Paul Gasol was a very unique situation. Like, I don't understand what happened with Paul Gasol. Now we're looking at, he averaged 16.5 points per game last season and 11.0 rebounds per game with 2 block shots. And that was at age 35. He played 72 games. Like, how can you be mad at that? He's 35 years old. He played 72 games. He's a 2-time All-Star in his 2 seasons with the Bulls. How can you hate on that? I don't understand. And one of them, he was a starter too, by the way. He was a starting All-Star. Like, the hate that he got in Chicago, I get it. He didn't play defense. He really did not want to rebound the ball. He averaged 11 rebounds per game. He really did not want to rebound the ball. I was just kind of like, man, like the amount of hate that he got, I was like, it was only time for him to go. And I was one of those people who was frustrated with him because it wasn't his fault though. Like, I was frustrated with the front office. He had so much value at the trade time. Like, during the trade, the trade deadline, there's talks of him getting traded for Ben McLemore. There are talks of him getting traded for Costa Kufis. There's so many talks of him getting traded. Of us, at least looking forward, like, there's no direction with Paul Gasol. It was some reporters saying, hey, is he going to be signed long term? There's some reports saying that, hey, is he going to be, traded at the deadline, or is he going to be, here short term, just finish off his contract and walk away? Eventually, the last part happened. He finished off his contract. He walked away. for nothing though. And it kind of stung a little bit, in hindsight. You look at what the team is now and it's like, it's not that big of a deal. But initially when he did leave, we're looking at our roster and we're like, is Denzel Valentine really the person we're going to be looking forward to right now? Like, is he really the person? Like, Pau Gasol was an all-star, 2-time all-star. You tell me you guys going to trade him for anything? That's small things like that. This summer, it was a big roller coaster ride. Like, it was just like, that was the very, very down point when you saw Rose, Noah, Dunleavy, and Gasol leave. And it was gonna pick back up, and it picked up a little bit when you saw, hey, we got Denzel Valentine, and I really like Valentine. I think he's probably the rookie that I'm most excited about since Taj Gibson. Taj Gibson, I was excited about. We had Tyrese Thomas. I can't speak for everyone else, but I was pretty excited when we got Taj Gibson because I knew that was the eventual departure of Tyrese Thomas. Taj Gibson was everything, if not better, than he was advertised coming out of college. Hard worker. Valentine has the same rep with him. He has a very, very good reputation. The only thing that bugs me about Valentine, that I'm very confident he went so late in the draft, is because of his knee injuries. Now, I know he was very durable during the regular season. He was very durable. But the thing is about Valentine, those injuries, those surgeries, they creep up later in his career. He might get knee arthritis. He might, whatever the case is, that comes later in his career. So right now we can love him and all, but I know based off Chicago fans, like a lot of you, like, it's just like, what have you done for me lately? And you're going to love him at first, but once he sits down a little bit with injuries, that eventually going to creep up. It's almost evident that it's going to happen based off other people's injuries, that he has similar injuries. It comes up later. My fear is that he's going to be hated just like all the other players. He's going to be run out of town just like the other players. And it's sad, but at the same time, it's like, well, let's see what he has to offer to begin with to even feel bad for him. I don't know. That's just me, though. But as far as the additions that we got, like I was telling you, we got Robin Lopez. According to Fred Horper, it goes Brook Lopez. But we got Robin Lopez, and I mean, at first when we got him, I was very indifferent. I was like, man, this guy's like a bum. Like, I don't know. But I mean, how much worse can he be? Then I don't know. Like, how bad can he be? He showed us a lot in the preseason. He showed that he's not a great rebounder, but he's such a big body that he allows his teammates to be good rebounders. So I think that's pretty important. He averages like 7 rebounds per game. I think that's his career high. But that said, his teams historically have been better rebounding teams because he's able to shell off 2-3 guys, and a guard like Rajon Rondo would be able to come up, grab a rebound, and so that's why Lopez is kind of like, I'll take him for the contract that he's on. Jerry Grant is someone I am not excited about, mainly because I haven't seen much of him. Like, he puts his head down, he dribbles right into the defender. I don't see much talent. I see more athleticism than I see talent. And the scary part is Gar Forman really focused the whole trade off of Jerry and Grant. Like, he said, we're going younger. Hey, we got Jerry and Grant. I'm like, he keeps mentioning Jerry and Grant, and I think Jose Calderon at that point was a better option than Jerry and Grant. Like that, and I really do not like Jose Calderon, by the way. But Jerry and Grant was their main focal point, and in all honesty, I get it. He has a guaranteed contract, but Spencer Dinwiddie was a lot better. Like, he proven a lot more in the summer league. He's proven a lot more in the preseason, and he was flat out just like a unique talent. 6'6", great shooter, great defender, unique talent. So the fact that they cut Spencer Dinwiddie was like, eventual. Like, they're gonna have to do it because MCW came in. We'll get to that in a little bit. But Jerry and Grant was someone that I never really understood the hype about. It's straight up nepotism, in my opinion. I mean, I think Horace Grant, working in the front office now, he got hired this summer. It's just like, everything kind of laid out pretty well for the Grant family, and I just don't see him. Yeah, he might not get minutes, I get it, but I think staying with the better player, and I think a lot of you guys had that same opinion too, staying with the better player in Dinwiddie was more important, in my opinion at least. We got Rajon Rondo. That was an amazing pick. I loved him. It was a love-hate relationship with me and Rajon Rondo. Like Rajon Rondo in Boston, because of the what was it, the '09 series. I really hated him because it was like this big conversation between him and D Rose. Like who's better? Well, obviously D Rose is better, right? Rajon Rondo at the time I didn't see it. He was special in his own way. Like he made good players even better. He won't make scrubs good players. Like if you put him with a team with scrubs, he won't make them a lot better. But what he'll do is he'll take here's 4 All-Stars, make them better. He'll make them into superstars. You saw that a lot in Boston. He's hot headed. I get it, but and I know the Bulls are going to be playing 90s style basketball where the 3-point line isn't a factor at all. There's just like erase the 3-point line from the court, and that's what you have with Rajon Rondo. Like he's going to be the floor general of 90s Bulls basketball. Like it's just straight up put your head down, drive to the basket. So I'm not really sure how that's going to work out, but I think he's so smart, sometimes for his own good, but he has such high IQ that it's like I actually like it. I think it might be an upgrade at the point guard position. I know I've posted a few times just to find out your guys' opinion, but I think that between him and Derrick Rose, what this team needs right now, I think Rajon Rondo brings something different than Derrick Rose, and I think it's something that we can confidently say it is gonna make his teammates better. Like I'm not sure you can say that about Derrick Rose. I'm not sure if you can say he made his teammates better. But you can obviously say Rajon Rondo is going to make a few players better, like Doug McDermott, Nikola Mirotic, Bobby Portis. He's going to make them a lot better. And the last two pieces, and not coincidentally, the last two pieces are the point guards I want to talk about, Isaiah Canaan and MCW. In all honesty, I'm not really sure how to pronounce his name because it's spelled Canaan, but, Neil Funko says Cannon. So I'm just going to go with Isaiah this time. I like Isaiah. He's a 3-point specialist. Small dude. I think he can really be the spark plug that the Bulls fans are used to watching. They're used to watching a few... they're used to watching a guy come off the bench in Nate Robinson. They're used to watching a guy like Aaron Brooks come off the bench and really just, bring excitement, I guess. And I think Canaan has that type of swag. Another player, before I get to MCW, because I think MCW is going to be a little more lengthy. It's going to be a lengthy discussion because I want to get into that the controversy. I want to talk about the main guy, though. The main guy who came to the Bulls, and I was really excited. And I cannot believe there's some criticism that came with this. It was D Wade. Like the fact that fans were... This is a very friendly contract, by the way. A lot of people, they look at the contract, they're like, well, yeah, we signed him for 2 years. No, we really didn't, though, because he signed a 1-year player option. It's a 2-year contract, but it's a 1-year player option, which is most probably is going to take anyone in the NBA would take that player option, because if you're in this league where every summer the cap is rising, you could just make more money. And I think the 2-year is in there because in case he gets hurt, just in case, he can still pull in $23 million a year. So if that's the case, who wouldn't, sign a 2-year deal? So D Wade's on the Bulls, and he brings something that Bulls fans aren't used to. He brings a positive vibe. He brings championship. He brings a championship vibe with him, and that's something that we really didn't have. We had that in Pau Gasol. But like I said, he was so underappreciated as a Bull that it was so easy to shrug him off. Be like, dude, just trade this dude. We don't want him. And the fact that D Wade comes in, he brings potential of free agents. So like now when next summer rolls around, he can become a free agent, but he can also bring free agents in. Who wouldn't want to play with the D Wade? I mean, heck, LeBron James wanted to play with the D Wade. I don't care how old he is. Like he's just a guy who brings in people. He's someone who will recruit. He's someone who the Bulls can rely on, and if they show him a good time this year, he can stay and bring in, I don't know, maybe a Chris Paul. Who knows? I mean, Rajon Rondo's on a 1-year deal. MCW is very young. They could swing in and bring in one of the banana boat players. So, I mean, there's a lot of hope, but there's a lot of security as a team with D Wade. So you can either walk away, They're okay with it. He'll be 35 years old, or he is 35, and they can either go long term with him by him bringing another player in. It's a win-win. Finally, the last player, the new addition players I want to talk about is MCW, Michael Carter-Williams. So before I talk about Michael Carter-Williams, let me just say this. I love it. I really do. I really love this addition because it gives you, like I just mentioned a few moments ago, it gives you that security. Like there's a plan in place. Like he's 25 years old. He turned 25 like maybe a week ago. He's 25 years old. He brings defense. He brings size. And sure, he fits the culture very well of not shooting, apparently. I mean, that's the culture the Bulls are going for. But, I mean, whatever that case is, I really don't understand what they're going with as far as that goes. But MCW brings you an opportunity to... He's like a safety blanket. Now, if you can't find someone good in free agency, and you're telling me that, hey, MCW is their starting point guard, the 6'6", 25 years old, great defensive player, if that's your starting point guard, you're doing pretty good. Like, in a league where elite point guards are by the dozen. They really are. If you have someone who may not be elite, but he could shut down elite players, I'll take it. I mean, why not? I mean, we might have to focus on other parts of our team, but I mean, MCW is one of the players that you wish that he's on your team, and that's why I was very excited when they picked him up because it gives you a sense of direction. It gives you some hope, like, hey, you know what? The Bulls organization, they know what they're doing somewhat. And then because we have already a solid core that's sitting in our roster. We have 4 players I want to bring up right now. We have Jimmy Butler, Nikola Mirotic, Doug McDermott, and Bobby Portis. Let's talk about their progression. Jimmy Butler kind of screwed me over last year. Let me tell you guys a little story. Jimmy Butler was probably my favorite player since, I don't know, MVP D Rose. Like, I loved him. Like, and because he gave me something to root for. Now, here's a little story that I got for you. I have a buddy of mine. He is the opposite of what I am to Jimmy Butler. He hates Jimmy Butler. And it's not because he fully acknowledges that Jimmy Butler is skillful. He just hates what the organization has done. Like, they kind of pushed over this 30th pick. They're like, hey, you know what? This is your superstar. Watch this dude. He's he's the franchise player now, right? So and I get why he's very frustrated with Jimmy Butler, but he's turned into the bigger fan I am with Jimmy Butler, the bigger hater he's become with Jimmy Butler. So we had a bet last year. The bet consisted of I'm gonna try saying this in a proper way. Whoever averaged, if Jimmy Butler averaged over 21 points per game, I get to choose a restaurant that's very questionable how it's still open. Let's put it that way. Like, how is it still open? It's that nasty. I get to choose a restaurant, and he has to eat $20 worth of food that he pays for over there. And I get to choose whatever it is off the menu, right? And vice versa. So if Jimmy Butler doesn't average 21 points per game, he gets to choose probably the same restaurant, and within $20 range. And I have to eat, and I have to pay for it, whatever the hell he chooses. So now it turns into, is Jimmy Butler going to average 21 points per game? For the most part, he was averaging 22. And I was, like, all season, I was ripping on him. I was like, yeah, dude, Jimmy Butler. I'm sending him screenshots of Jimmy Butler's stats, what he scored, 53 points against the Philly, that game. He had, like, 44 against Detroit, I think. Just random stat sheets off the top of my head. He had a pretty great season, but he had a big injury against Denver. He went down. He was never the same after that. He just stopped scoring. I think he fell out of his rhythm. He was out for like 3 weeks, I think. So, and the bet consisted of he has to play at least 66 games, and Jimmy Butler clocked in 67 games. So that was the worst part of this whole thing, where not only that he played one game more than I had hoped he didn't, but he also averaged 20.9 points per game. So, Vaz, I still owe you that dinner. I know I do. But for the sake of my health, I'm trying my best to avoid it. So, when it comes down to it, Jimmy Butler really screwed me over. But yo, man, he's still my favorite player. The last 3 players I want to bring up before we get into other topics of the Bulls, I want to talk about the progression of Nico, Doug, and Portis. Nico. I'll give you a small another anecdote how one of my friends got screwed over with Nico. So we have a fantasy basketball league, right? And so last year he had Rudy Gay, and Rudy Gay is I had a buddy of mine. He had Rudy Gay, and Rudy Gay is not a player that you want to brag that hey I have Rudy Gay. It's like kind of like whatever, dude. It doesn't really matter. He's better than most players when it comes down to it. When it comes to stats, but one of my friends he had Rudy Gay, right? And he saw Nico scored 18 points per game, 3 games in a row in the beginning of the season. So he got really happy. He's just like, yeah, you know what? I want Nico. So he trades Rudy Gay for Nico with another friend of mine. And ever since then, that dude's been miserable. Like he didn't end up winning the championship at all because of that one trade. He went to the championship. Had he not traded for Nico, I think he would have won. So I'm pretty sure he's not happy with him. Nico's another player that I'm not too high on. I know he came up with a lot of hype. I don't know. I think his limitation for growth is very limited. He's very he's very one dimensional. He doesn't offer much besides shooting, and even that's a good 2-3 feet out of the 3-point line. So if he learns to step in, if he learns to actually play basketball like fundamentals, I think he would be decent. But that's not someone I'm not too high on. I'm more high on Bobby Portis than I am Nikola Mirotic. I think Bobby Portis can bring someone is someone that can bring he can bring shooting, he can bring defense, he can bring toughness. Basically what Nico can't bring. So I'm more high on Bobby Portis. I think I'll give him 2 more years to become like a starting power forward. And then you finally have Doug McDermott, who I think we traded a lot to get him. I'm not a fan of what we traded to get him, given that I'm hoping one day he does turn into the player that we hope. And you know what? I really do think that in time, I think Doug McDermott will become a fringe all-star player, but that's another 2-3 years away, depending on if he gets the proper minutes. Thank you again for tuning in. I hope to. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you can, rate, comment, subscribe, and send this to all your friends. Spam it. I don't care. If you're a supporter of the page, just know that we're trying to do big things. In order for that to happen, we need your help. So please rate, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Thank you. Alright guys, this is the portion for around the NBA and the Q&A part that I promised that you guys that I'd be doing. Sorry this video is a little longer than usual, but there's a lot of content to get through, and I promise you that the videos are going to be at a certain length, like 15 to 20 minutes. That's the goal moving forward. So anyway, so around the NBA, I want to do some award predictions and the seeding predictions before I get to the question and answer. For MVP, I have LeBron James. It's really, really hard for me to believe that LeBron James has won his last MVP at 28 years old. He's had a very decorated career. Whether you're a Bulls fan or not, you gotta admit he's had an amazing career. I really think at 31 or at 32 he's gonna be in the season. I think he has another MVP left in him, especially since historically MVPs have won in the top 2 of their conferences. You have to be top 2 in your conference. That's an unwritten rule, whether you guys know that or not. LeBron James will be going up against pretty much like him, DeRozan, the Warriors and Spurs. You cancel out Warriors and Spurs because I don't understand how Curry or Durant could be MVP. Like, how can someone be most valuable of their team when they're playing with another most valuable player? The last 3 MVPs were won between Curry and Durant. I really don't think they have a shot at winning it together. So I think LeBron James is running away with the MVP this season. For Defensive Player of the Year, Kawhi Leonard won it 2 seasons in a row. It's really a toss-up between Whiteside and Draymond. I think Draymond's going to get a little more exposed with Bogut out of the lineup for a longer period of time. I really think this is Whiteside's year. He was 3rd place last year in voting. I really think that with the team focused around him, he'll be able to win that award. For Rookie of the Year, Ben Simmons would have been a landslide, honestly. But now that he's not here, it's between Brandon Ingram and Buddy Hield. In a 3-point shooting league, you can really say that this is a toss-up. If I'm going to do a toss-up, I'm going to pick Brandon Ingram, number 2 pick. I mean, I just think he has more to offer for the team that he's on, especially because Buddy Hield is playing behind Anthony Davis. So that said, I really pick Brandon Ingram. Coach of the year, I really like Brad Stevens. I really do. But Tyronn Lue, he's gonna have the Cavaliers #1 seed. Tyronn Lue hasn't won one yet. He's really bound for one eventually. And if Cavs remain #1 since they got J.R. Smith back, I really think Tyronn Lue is gonna end up winning it. Most improved player. It's so hard for me not to pick Zach LaVine since Zach LaVine, basically is playing underneath Tom Thibodeau, but he's competing with Ricky Rubio and Chris Dunn. That said, I will go with Brandon Jennings. He'll be playing behind Derrick Rose. I think he'll get a lot of minutes. I think he'll have a streaky season, similar to J.R. Smith when he won Sixth Man of the Year. Given that, I really like Brandon Jennings, but I'm gonna give him Sixth Man of the Year award instead of the Most Improved. So I'm gonna go with for Most Improved. I'm gonna go with Devin Booker. I think Devin Booker is a very good guard. He's gonna be a sophomore this year, but he's a Klay Thompson clone, if not better, eventually. So that said, I pick Devin Booker for Most Improved. Let's see for the conferences. I'm looking at the Vegas the Vegas odds, so I'm gonna choose my own. So what I have is I have the Cavaliers at #1. I think Raptors have great chemistry, but they're in season team. They're not gonna be a threat in the playoffs, but they have them at #2. #3 I have Celtics. #4 I have Pacers. I really like what they have going there. They have Jeff Teague and Al Jefferson, Thad Young, Paul George. #5 I have the Bulls around 45 wins, so I mean that's pretty fair, I think. #6 I have the Knicks. Their injuries are gonna really kill them, I think. I would love to move them forward, but I really can't because of the injuries. #7 I have Pistons at #7, only because Reggie Jackson is injured for a long period of time. So that said, I push Pistons down from initially what I thought they would be. And #8 it's a split between Hornets and Hawks. I don't think Dwight Howard is as good as Al Horford for this team, but I think you'll still have them in the playoffs. So those are my top 8 seeds for the East. For the West, I have Warriors at 1, Spurs at 2. I'm not buying in the hype of 3 for Jazz because Jazz is listed #3 for Vegas odds. I'm not buying that. For #3, I have Clippers. #4, I have Thunder. I think Oladipo is going to be great for the Thunder. #5, I have the Blazers. I think Damian Lillard is the real deal. He went to the semifinals last year. I don't see why not of getting better. #6, I have Jazz. I'm still not buying into the hype, but I'll give in a little bit. I'll give him #6. #7, I have Thibodeau. I'm not gonna say Wolves. I'm gonna say Thibodeau. I'm just kidding. I have the Wolves. I really think that he's gonna get them moving. This will be the first step in the right direction. And #8, I have the Mavericks. With the addition of Bogut and Barnes, I really think Mark Cuban is trying his best to make a playoff team happen. And I think eventually it's gonna happen for him this season to remain in the playoffs. So that said, I'm gonna read a few questions off the page that I promised that I would read. So here you go. Dinwiddie is better than Kanan to me, but obviously Bulls didn't think so. Talk about the upside of Grant and Kanan, our future point guard. This is written by Adam Lasky. If I butcher your name, I apologize, but Adam Lasky is asking basically Dinwiddie is better than Kanan. I mean, I agree in certain ways, but Dinwiddie didn't bring something that we already didn't have, which is MCW, and Kanan is someone that we need a spark plug. So that said, I'm not a big fan of Grant, like he asked. I'm not a big fan. I'm here. I'm gonna ride the boat. I'm gonna ride the wave, and we'll see what Kanan has, what Grant has to offer. But I'm not too excited for our backup point guard situation. Besides MCW, it says this is written by Rebecca Rose. She's asking me, admin, what are your expectations for this team this year? Do you feel that we have an upgrade roster from last year? Who are you most excited about to see play? I am excited because I like different. I mean, I'm someone who likes to see something different succeed. Last year, I feel that they're just stuck in one place. They weren't getting over the fact that simple core of Rose, Noah, and Butler. They weren't they needed a change. That said, I'm really happy of the roster they put together. Do I think it's an upgrade? I think the fact that they'll make the playoff is a pretty big upgrade. So I'm happy with the roster that we have moving forward. I predicted them being fifth seed last year. That we missed the playoffs, so you know. The last question is Gio Spadafina by Gio Spadafina. It says, how do you feel about Bobby Portis, and how do you feel on MCW coming? I've discussed this a little bit. Bobby Portis is someone who I think he still needs time to develop. I think he's right off the bat better than Nikola Mirotic because I think he offers more. He offers more energy. He offers more, defense, rebounding. That's really, all those stuff are really important besides shooting. So I really like him. I don't think he's a starter yet. I think eventually once they decide to move on forward with Taj Gibson, which is going to be pretty soon, I think. Bobby Portis is their guy, and hey, dude, I don't mind that at all. And I really like MCW coming. That's the second part of his question. I really like MCW coming. I think that he is going to be not only an insurance policy of what we have moving forward in free agency, but he's also going to be someone who our safety blanket, we could say, hey, this is our starting point guard, 25 results, 6'6" guard, and how can you be mad at that? So, I mean, overall, I'm pretty pleased with the roster that we have. And I thank you guys for tuning in to the first episode of the Bulletin. If you watched the whole episode, good for you. I'm very happy. I know it's a kind of lengthy one, but, it's a lot of content to get through. Thank you again, and please rate, comment, subscribe. Please share this video in order for us to get where we need to go. We need your help. So again, please thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.